Watch O.J. Simpson, #1 halfback, demonstrate a really close shave.
I'll shave one side with the leading double-edged blade.
There was the car chase. There was the actual details of the investigation, the crime scene, the court case itself. All I know is this all escalated
very quickly.
I don't know if you guys have heard in pop culture, people talk about a white Bronco a lot. Like the car from back in the 90s. And I never saw a bunch of commercials about a white Bronco. It wasn't like shoved in my face like that, but then you start hearing it like in rap songs and you hear people making references to it on TV. And it's because back in the 90s, the O.J. Simpson chase was one of the most mind-blowing things on television, okay? It was mind-blowing. And earlier, when I started really reading through all the details of it, I was like, I mean, I knew that it was crazy to America, but it really kind of starts to make sense. I mean, Jesus Christ, the whole OJ case, from the details itself of the investigation to the courtroom drama, the news headlines, it's a massive case. But just today, I want to talk to you about the car chase. The infamous car chase and how it led to this explosive moment in America. I have some notes for this story, but a lot of this is like from my brain, so just like bear with me. The murders of Nicole Brown, and I guess technically it's Nicole Brown Simpson, but for the sake of this video, I'm not really gonna tie her name to Simpson. Just Nicole Brown. Nicole Brown and Ron Goldman, they passed away on June 12th. And then later on June 13th, like after midnight, their bodies were found. Now, fast forward a little bit to this day, on Friday, June 17th, 1994. This is every single thing that happened in order. So at 8:30 in the morning, Robert Shapiro, or some people call him Bob Shapiro, he gets a call from the county. And they say, look, here's the deal. The scene, it's graphic. We know there's a lot of history between Nicole and OJ. Not only do we want to ask him some questions, but he's our prime suspect and we need to find him. So this is 8:30 in the morning. And he gets word from the county that they want O.J. Simpson to surrender at 11 o'clock in the morning. So Bob gets up this morning and he's like, I'm sure he reaches out to his client at some point. The attorney's job is pretty much to protect the client at all costs from the law, from even the things that they've done. So remember, Bob is 100% on OJ's side because it's his job. So he probably calls OJ. He's, up in the morning trying to figure out what's going on. What's the plan? What are we going to do? What they're basically saying is the San Fernando Valley, they tell them by 9:30, if OJ doesn't turn himself in within 90 minutes by 11 a.m., that they're going to go public and tell the whole world that O.J. Simpson is a prime suspect. So with attorneys in court cases, you want to keep the media out of it as much as possible, unless sometimes the attorney and the client, they have some PR around where they feel like they can kind of spin the story, okay? Everyone's scrambling around. No one's really talked to O.J. They're just talking to his attorney, and it's 9:30. It's 10 o'clock. They haven't heard anything yet. The county's probably expecting like, all right, well, he's on his way up there. He'll be there at 11. They don't get one of those calls. 11 o'clock rolls around and O.J. Simpson is nowhere to be found. Now, look, Bob Shapiro is probably freaking out at this point because he probably has a game plan, but it sounds like O.J. doesn't want to go along with it. He's just nowhere to be found. But I can guarantee you that Shapiro and Robert Kardashian, we'll get to him later, I feel like they know something about what's going on. Noon rolls around, and then they call them up and they say, okay, I don't know what you guys are doing, but we've given you ample time for OJ to turn himself in. We still haven't heard from him. So at 1 o'clock today, we are going to do a press conference to say that beloved O.J. Simpson is a fugitive in a murder case. At 1:50, somebody from LAPD, Commander David, he goes live to basically tell everyone in America that O.J. Simpson is officially a suspect. Now, I need to plug you back into the 90s for a minute. You remember how I said before that O.J. was beloved? He's a super sports star. He's doing commercials. He's doing TV. He's charismatic. Guys, everybody loved the juice. Do y'all know that? Like, do y'all literally know that people loved OJ back in the day? So when it comes out that Nicole Brown and, possibly her lover Ron maybe has been, I don't know exactly what their relationship was, but that they've been murdered, most people are actually not suspecting OJ. Now, look, if you're in my community or you watch a lot of true crime, you're like,
the husband did it.
But people loved OJ so much that no one's thinking that. So you got to be plugged into this moment back in the 90s when this guy went live and said that OJ Simpson is a suspect. This is like hard for everyone to comprehend. Look at them rewinding that tape.
Mr. Simpson has not appeared. The Los Angeles Police Department right now is actively searching for Mr. Simpson.
Do you guys hear the crowd? People said, the juice is loose and a suspect? I know some people are gonna get it, but this is like wild. I'm trying to think, who's a modern day celebrity that people would be like, no, like, hold on, who's that guy from that movie?
Be more specific!
This is like if all of a sudden Chris Pratt was wanted for murder. And I know some people are like, oh, screw Chris Pratt or whatever. Like, I don't know anything about him, but like the equivalent of like big in his field, goes out and does other things. And people are like, oh, he's such a nice guy, right? Like this would be almost like that in back in those times. Okay, who said Josh Groban or Zendaya? Oh my God. It's a big deal, okay?
The Los Angeles Police Department is also very unhappy with the activities surrounding his failure to surrender. And we will be looking further into those activities.
Oh my God.
Including anyone that may have intervened on his behalf.
O.J. Simpson was to have been arraigned initially 2.5 hours ago.
Oh my God.
Then he was to have been arraigned now. And for the moment, O.J. Simpson is a fugitive from justice. We will continue our live coverage on ESPN2, and for the meantime, for those of you who have been watching soccer, we will return to the World Cup, and we will have a full report on SportsCenter at 7 o'clock Eastern.
The World Cup. They interrupted the World Cup. Did you guys hear that part where they said anyone involved with him running away will be dealt with accordingly, basically, right? This is kind of them saying something about his attorneys. They're kind of like, if you guys are harboring him or hiding him, that's going to be a problem. But the main person that they were talking to was OJ's best friend of like 30 years, Al Cowlings, okay? So Al Cowlings was a very, very close friend of OJ's. In the 90s, when he married Nicole, Al was the ring bearer at their wedding. They're super close. They're homies, right? I was very surprised to find out that back in 1967, this is 30 years before all this happened, Al and OJ were really good friends, and Al Cowlings was actually dating a woman named Marguerite. Marguerite and Al, they would sometimes get into it. They would, be fighting and stuff like that, and they just didn't know what to do. And Al was like, OJ, I'm flustered. I love her, but I don't know what to do. And OJ's like, you know what? Let me step in. Let me be a mediator for you guys. So OJ would step in, and he would listen to Marguerite's problems, and he would step in, he would listen to Al's problems. And then, I guess he just started listening to Marguerite too much because he ended up marrying her. That's right. OJ stole Al Cowlings' girl. And the reports say that for a while, Al was pretty pissed about this, but I guess eventually he got over it to the point that he and OJ stayed friends. He stole her from under Al's nose under the guise of helping them. And then he married her right from him. So this is like the basis of their early relationship. So the county is basically looking for O.J. Simpson, and the last person that they know of that he was hanging out with was Al. So they're saying, Where's OJ? Where's Al? And Al, if you're involved, we're going to get you. So around 3 o'clock, they make another announcement. The first one they made is at 1:50. And, there were murmurs. The press is ready to get on this story. But really, it's only been an hour. We don't have social media. News isn't traveling that fast. I really want you to be plugged into this, okay? The news is not traveling as fast as it would be now. So they go live again at 3 o'clock and they make this big statement and they're saying, we're going to find Mr. Simpson. We're going to bring him to justice. Okay. And one of the comments that Garcetti makes is they're undecided if they're going to seek the death penalty in this case. Listen, just think about the most beloved celebrity you can think of in 2023 and then just replace OJ with this. So you can start to understand how people were like, what? Oh my God, like what is going on? So at 4:45, they lay down the hammer. They're getting serious. Then they put out a warrant for arrest for Al Cowling as well because they know that they've seen each other recently. Now, at 4:45, that arrest warrant goes out. And about 15 minutes later, Shapiro, he's already got his next press conference ready, right? Of course, we're going to pull out the PR. Okay, somebody in chat said, Zendaya, death penalty? See, you get it now. You get it. Yeah, Keanu, Markiplier. There we go. Markiplier. I need y'all to imagine that Markiplier is now a fugitive. That is a great one. At 5 o'clock, they start firing up the PR, right? So Shapiro and his team, they set up a press conference basically where Robert Kardashian, yes, the Robert Kardashian, dad of the Kardashians, all that. He was also a really good friend to O.J. Simpson. And he goes live on a press conference to read this sob story letter that O.J. Simpson wrote. And would you believe it? We've got the footage.
To whom it may concern. First, everyone understand, I had nothing to do with Nicole's murder.
Oh.
I loved her, always have, and always will. If we had a problem, it's because I loved her so much.
That sounds like some gaslighty stuff your mom says to them. Like, I got upset with you and I yelled at you because I loved you too much. What am I supposed to say to that?
We were not right for each other.
Then
at
leave.
least for now. Despite our love, we were different, and that's why we mutually agreed to go our separate ways. It was tough splitting for a second time, but we both knew it was for the best. Inside, I had no doubt that in the future we would be close friends or more.
I'm gonna say this right now. Y'all know OJ wrote this letter, gave it to Robert Kardashian, and he and Bob Shapiro, they both looked at this letter and they said, we need to clean this up. Send it to the PR team. Like, I bet you OJ, the original letter, he was saying some crazy stuff in here. Oh, I bet.
Unlike
and this is the
what
best
has
they
been
could
written
do.
in the press, Nicole and I had a great relationship for most of our lives together. Like all long-term relationships, we had a few downs and ups. I took the heat New Year's 1989 because that's what I was supposed to do. I did not plead no contest for any other reason but to protect our privacy, and was advised it would end the press hype. I don't want to belabor knocking the press.
Somebody said, why didn't OJ read this himself? Because he was on the run. The most suspicious thing ever. I'm sorry, this is so funny. Robert Kardashian, Simpson's friend. It's kind of funny.
But I can't believe what is being said. Most of it is totally made up. I know you have a job to do.
Most of it.
But as a last wish, please, please, please leave my children in peace. Their lives will be tough enough. I want to send my love and thanks to all my friends. I'm sorry I can't name every one of you, especially AC. Man, thanks for being in my life.
Somebody said, have you heard the theory before that OJ is Khloe Kardashian's dad? Bro, bro, this is Khloe Kardashian right here. You're looking at, you see those cheeks? That's Khloe's daddy right there. Dude, I swear the internet conspiracy theories, they could go so deep. So deep. Bro, that man, there's not many hills I'll die on, but I'm gonna say that is Khloe's daddy. Look at them cheeks. Look at those eyes, bro.
Frank Olson, Mark Packer, Bender, Bobby Kardashian. I wish we had spent more time together in recent years. My golfing buddies, Alan Austin, Mike, Craig, Bender, Weiler, Sandy, Jay, Donnie, thanks for the fun.
Doesn't this sound like a goodbye letter that OJ, so one, OJ's not here, you know? America's processing like, oh my God, he's on the run and possibly the death penalty in a double murder case? Like, it just people in the United States are like, whoa, what is going on? And now his friend, Robert Kardashian, comes on and reads this almost farewell letter.
Don't feel sorry for me. I've had a great life.
Yeah, it's
Great
like,
friends.
it's a goodbye letter.
Please think of the real OJ and not this lost person. Thanks for making my life special. I hope I helped yours.
This is so
Peace and
PR.
love, OJ.
It's like almost hoping to turn the tides from the public from, oh my God, did he do it, to feeling bad for OJ. But to most people, this is confusing because it's like, well, OJ, you didn't do it, so just tell him, you know? This was, in my opinion, a pretty bad play by everyone involved.
Mr. Shapiro, can you tell us what, if anything, in addition to that letter, OJ might have
there's
said
Bob
or
Shapiro
did
over there to the
for
left.
you to express to
Oh,
us, to us
oh
in
my
Simpson?
God! Do you have to see the way he moved everybody? Girl, watch it again. Look at how he just inches Robert out.
Mr. Shapiro, can you tell us what, if anything, in addition
He
to
said,
that
"Move,
letter,
Robert."
OJ might have said or did for you
Goodbye,
to
Robert.
express to us suicidal
I'm here now.
concerns?
From Tuesday on, he has been exceedingly depressed. He has been under doctor's care, medicated and sedated, and we have had a very real concern that this might be an avenue that he would choose.
For clarity, guys, this is Bob Shapiro. No relation to Ben Shapiro, the politics guy, okay? This is Bob Shapiro. But for the sake of Robert Kardashian goes by Robert. It's actually Robert Shapiro and Robert Kardashian. But for the sake of this, we'll call him Bob Shapiro and Robert Kardashian, just so we don't conflate them. And yes, he does. This guy has good eyebrows. So this press conference happens at 5 o'clock. Takes them a couple minutes to read it. You know, Bob Shapiro starts answering questions. There's more press. And I think that there's a period of time, maybe around 5:30, 5:45, that, you know, Bob calls him up, maybe tells him it went well. I'm sure they had some kind of communication. This is just me theorizing, right? But what confirmed happens is at 5:51, O.J. Simpson is driving down the road in a white Bronco and he calls 911. So when he calls at 5:51, the police immediately start tracing this phone call and they figure out exactly where he is, and the chase begins live on television. So once again, plugging yourself back to, you know, being an American in 1994, back in June, you're going through the motions of possibly hearing about this at 2 o'clock, seeing another press release at 4 that it might be the death penalty. Then at 5 o'clock, you're hearing this thing about, it's basically like a goodbye letter. And then suddenly he's on TV running it down, you know, the 405 in a white Bronco. If you don't know like anything about OJ or you weren't around for this, yes, I just want you to imagine like this is Markiplier, because one, that's an insane concept, but two, this was an insane concept to the American people.
And hopefully have him just pull
There he
over.
is.
And right now I don't see
There he is.
the police doing anything real radical at this point, because right now there's nobody in danger as we watch this.
Do you believe that people are being kept off of the freeway? I'm still somewhat astonished by the light traffic there on this Friday night.
Can y'all hold the camera still?
You know what? I missed that. You were blocked by another radio. Could you say again?
Ron, I was saying, do you think perhaps that motorists are being kept off that freeway? Because I'm astonished at the light level of traffic on this Friday night. It's very unusual.
It is
Dude,
unusually.
and you know what? The news anchors, I feel like they were so calm about this because they were like, well, we have to capture this, but we don't know if he did it. So let's not say anything crazy because it is Markiplier. I mean, OJ. It's OJ.
It's very difficult for us to tell. I don't know how much tighter that we have here, but and he says that's as tight as we can go right now. So from our vantage point, we cannot tell exactly how many are in the vehicle at all.
Oh, so they don't even know if it's just OJ.
Again, all this is presumption now. It's apparent that the police believe it.
Well,
and that is Cowlings' car, and that Simpson is in the driver's seat. We've received a report of a gun in the car. The car is heading north, which would be toward Los Angeles. We picked it up in Orange County. The vehicle is registered to Al Cowling, a former teammate, close friend of O.J. Simpson's.
Dude, I know exactly what I would have been doing back then if I was an adult in 94. I was not. I would have popped a Hungry Man in the microwave and I would have said, turn it on channel 3. Turn the volume up.
Reuters is reporting that the police tracked O.J. Simpson.
Oh my God, dude. Did you guys see that? Guys, are these all people that know OJ? Hold on. Look, I've been in LA for about 7 years. I ain't never driven past some road where everybody's just hanging over the freeway balcony. I feel like these people knew OJ was coming and they were watching. And also, I guarantee you, every single one of these people remembered that for the rest of their life. They were cheering for OJ. I did hear that. Were people really cheering for OJ? Hold on.
Tracked O.J. Simpson through his cellular phone. Apparently he was on the cellular phone, and they tracked him through there, and that's how they picked up this car to his mother and his children.
I'm Googling this. Oh my God, dude. It's true. People were outside cheering for OJ, trying to find him on the highway just to get a glimpse of him outrunning the police. It was a whole spectacle. I know some of y'all would be out there cheering on Markiplier, so I'm honestly, I'm not as surprised. When you put another celebrity in context here, it just shows you how big he was.
There's no rule book on this because
right
oh my God.
This
guys, put the pedal to the metal.
It
like,
seems to be
come
that way,
on, bro.
And the traffic up above is still...
What is the top speed on a Bronco?
In fact, I'm trying to look down through my lower window. It appears that CHP has stopped traffic on the on-ramps coming onto the 91 westbound.
Oh, they stopped the on-ramp traffic.
The officers proceed at a nice...
Dude, do you think these people knew? Look,
to the
I can't
91
get over
westbound,
this.
just to let the
Everybody's
the officers
passing over
proceed,
here.
At a nice
It looks like they
pace
just
coming through
stopped.
here. Again, they don't want anything to happen to this suspect vehicle. They want to try to keep it as safe as possible. But there's definitely a crowd growing on every
Are these cops?
overpass
No.
that we see.
Oh,
Vehicles
they're
and
everyone's
people
blocked
that
off.
want to get
Everyone's
a glimpse
blocked off.
and see if this
They
is in
blocked
fact
off the
OJ
road.
coming down the freeway.
apparently the reports we get, they're about 40 minutes.
Absolutely.
Turn the channel back on. Oh my God.
And they are almost certain that OJ is in the passenger seat.
Who was driving?
Yeah, we're just now crossing the 605
California
at the
Highway Patrol is also
91.
telling
So we're
CNN,
starting
and
to
I'm
get up
repeating
into
this to you as I
the
hear it
Long
in
Beach
my
area.
earphones.
Oh my God. Y'all aren't going to guess who. Well, you probably can guess. Who do you think was driving the car? Who do you think it was? That's right. It was Al Cowlings. OJ done stole his girl and then made him drive the getaway car. Al! Alfred!
Holding a gun to his head.
Well, David, the 405 is not too
And that
much
OJ
farther
is
down the
saying
91.
apparently
The
in his
next
cellular phone that he
major
wants to
we'll
go
come
to his mother's
will
house.
be the
To be fair, though, if OJ has a gun to his head and he's like claiming that he's gonna hurt himself, Al probably feels like he just has to keep driving because you don't know what this man's about to do. Man, y'all playing games at this point. Cut him off. It's not like what the is going on? It's not like y'all don't know what exit comes next. If he's passing by exit 8, maybe we should go to exit 12. I feel like they didn't want to catch him. I don't know what is going on here. Who's this? Oh my God, what if it's a fan? What if there were fans driving up, bro?
This is Larry King as we stay atop this scene. Jim
Okay,
Hill.
wait. Someone said, what happened with Markiplier? It's not Markiplier. Markiplier's fine. Everybody calm down.
But if there is perhaps a weapon or fear that there might be a weapon inside, safety has to come into play here when you're considering trying to stop a vehicle, correct?
Dude,
yes,
this
we have,
was wild back in the 90s.
CHP
Oh
has
my
policies
God.
for high risk and or felony stops, and the officers, if they are involved in that, will act according to policy, and they're well trained, and we go over these scenarios all the time in training. So the officers are well aware of the procedure to use in felony stops or high risk situations.
At what speed are they going now, Officer Ferrier? Any idea?
I don't have that information right now.
Slow as hell. That's what they're doing. Going a nice, cool 39 on the freeway.
Go, follow.
Craig, are we approaching Sunset Boulevard now?
We're coming on
we're approaching
Sunset.
Sunset Boulevard.
There's a crowd of people who are on the bridge here
Oh, no.
as he approaches the Sunset Boulevard.
All right, Eric.
You said there's a crowd of people watching on the bridge as he comes to your Sunset. If you don't know, Sunset Boulevard is in like the Hollywood Strip, right? Like the iconic Los Angeles kind of thing where all the people are and everything. So OJ is running from a murder conviction, threatening suicide with like a gun to his head while he's pulling up into Hollywood. And people are outside waiting for him. Like, this was crazy, dude.
As I recall, there are 2 lanes on the Sunset Boulevard off-ramp. He is in one of them, and that's the lane he would be using.
Is he about to pull off on and
he's
do a
getting
little
off.
detour
Okay,
through
it
Hollywood?
looks like he is getting off at the
Oh my God.
off-ramp at Sunset.
Right.
Oh my God.
Okay.
Getting off, he's on the off-ramp now, coming up the off-ramp at Sunset. Lots of people at the overpass at Sunset.
Dude, they're trying to get a
And
glimpse.
Possibly here will be a westbound turn en route to Brentwood.
That's right.
Looks like he's in the left lane now.
Yeah.
Making
Oh my God! Stop. Please, Lord, tell me these are pigeons. Please. Tell me it's a bird. Tell me these are not people flocking.
turn. The intersection
Oh
free
my
and he's clear. And
God.
now making the left turn westbound on Sunset.
Oh my God.
He must have gone right by you, Eric.
Oh my God.
We're staying ahead of it. We're going to his mansion, believing that he's going there. But it was an amazing situation on that overpass. There were people running around on top of there. I don't know how he's going to be able to drive through all those people. All along Sunset Boulevard, there are people stopped as well ahead of the chase. We can only assume he's going to his home on Rockingham in Brentwood.
Okay, Eric, that's exactly what had happened. He did take that Sunset Boulevard off-ramp, as we had speculated, and now he is proceeding west on Sunset Boulevard. He just went past Woodburn and will be approaching Barrington Avenue.
I have heard about 5 different occasions where they could have predicted where OJ is going next. How have we not? What is the problem? What is the issue? Lay down them, that little piece of, that thing with the spikes on it. Lay out the spikes, you know? Give me something. Put the blockade up.
I know, how far behind the Bronco are you,
He is
Eric?
just going
I'd say
through
we're
these
less
red
than a mile
lights.
behind.
Okay.
What's going to happen is that street, Rockingham, is a very, very narrow street. It's going to be interesting to see how that's going to work.
I have a question. Chat or YouTube, did any of you guys see this live? What was it like? Because this is like crazy to me, and it's been 20 years, you know?
I'm telling you, I'm looking at this along with you. I think that's Sunset Boulevard.
Yeah, it looks like Sunset.
And,
the trees and the way, the configuration.
Right. And so moving up into the Brentwood area where OJ has had a home for quite some time, and also
Oh my God, he's just going home.
His late wife, Nicole Brown Simpson.
Oh.
Again, police are in pursuit. They have not closed in. This has been going on since about an hour and 15 minutes. They have kept their distance. They have been...
I feel like they're really giving him way too much control here, because they're basically saying they're not going to hurt it. I mean, I'm not a police officer, clearly. So I don't know what the tactic is here, but you know what? At the end of it, they got him. So I'll shut up.
Again, here is O.J. Simpson. Yes, indeed, it would appear that he is in fact trying to reach his neighborhood, if you will.
And you see people chasing after the Bronco, which is the worst thing they could do.
my
Mark
God.
Coogan, are you able to hear us now?
Look, there's one of the satellite trucks, so I think this is, in fact, is pulling up. He's pulling right up to his home.
Sure looks like it, Harold.
Here he is now. Here's the car pulling
that's
into
his
the
estate.
driveway.
Oh my God, he's home.
Mark
He's home.
Coogan, we're watching O.J. Simpson pull into it.
Mark Cuban? Y'all got Mark Cuban on the call? Did I hear that right?
Mark Coogan, we're watching.
Mark Cuban. Wrong Mark, everyone.
He has driven
What
all
if
the
he came on the track and he was like, I don't know, Larry, this seems like a bad investment to me. I'd be like, that is Mark.
way, and here's somebody coming up beside him. And look, there's
Oh my God,
a bit of a
what's
scuffle
happening?
here.
Hold on.
And look, there's a bit of a scuffle here.
Al?
And Al Cowlings, who is at the wheel, apparently is telling
to get
whoever
away.
it is came up there to get out of the way, to get
So
back,
Al's still
and
in the
to
car.
stay out of the way.
Cops
O.J.
pulled him
Simpson
away?
is in the back of this vehicle. It has tinted windows. We're unable to see a clear picture of him, but the reports we've received off of the police scanners is that Mr. Simpson has a gun to his head and obviously is threatening suicide. Mr. Cowling.
Someone said, imagine Lana Del Rey doing this. That's like a totally different arc, like totally different universe.
But the reports we've received off of the police scanners is that Mr. Simpson has a gun to his head and obviously is threatening suicide. Mr. Cowling, as he has done since this drive began an hour and 15 minutes ago, has been waving everybody off, telling them to stay back. Al Cowlings is a friend. You just know that he is doing the best job he can to emotionally calm down O.J. Simpson right now, telling the juice to put the gun down. Police, as you saw, are on the premises. They've been there all day. They, too, are staying back right now. And all we can do is watch along with you, keep our fingers crossed that O.J. will, in fact...
The Lana arc is just... Dude, I can't. Lana's just in the car like, wind in my hair.
The reports all day have been that O.J. has, in fact, been suicidal. He wrote a letter that thanked many of his friends, his former teammates, his golfing buddies, his broadcasting friends, and people he's known over the years. And on any other occasion, we would have labeled it a suicide note, but the friend who read it told us that it was a letter that he wanted read to the public. The word suicide wasn't mentioned.
It felt like a PR move, and I think that it made people feel more weird than sympathetic.
This is the driver's side
That's Al.
of the vehicle.
That's
Okay,
Al,
someone
right?
just got out of the vehiil, approaching the front door, dressed in black, and entered. Looks like they entered the...
If I was Al, I would be, hey, OJ, I gotta go to the bathroom or something. Like, I cannot fucking do this. Like, this is a crime at this point. It's a crime.
Now, the best we can determine, there is still one other person, at least one other person in that vehicle. Is that correct?
At this point, I from the information that I've gathered up to this point, it appears
Right, now,
that
someone
has
came
just
back.
approached back to the vehicle.
The hostage.
and
She's
entered
coming
the
back.
vehicle. Let's do.
Because it was a man dressed in black. That very well could have been an...
The Brentwood home here of O.J. Simpson.
Dude, every channel had this going. Like, the person that recorded this video recorded this live. Guys, like, that's what I'm trying to say. This was back in 94. In the last 30 years, I can't think of anything that is as, like, shocking as this. Like, as, like, pop culture, like, so it's somehow like a criminal case, but also pop culture because it's a beloved celebrity.
And the officers at the top of your screen, O.J. Simpson in that vehicle
Right
at the
there.
bottom of your screen, and the man we believe to be Al Cowlings talking to both sides.
It's interesting to note the way the two officers were standing there. We can assume that they're wearing any kind of bulletproof vest that they can, but they were not in a way protecting themselves. They were basically just standing there almost casually talking to the driver of that vehicle.
I feel like they were trying to avoid escalating just to keep tensions low, because their goal is to get OJ so they can talk to him. They just want to bring him in alive in one piece.
It appears.
Is he coming
from what
out?
we're hearing on the scanners,
Is he coming out?
they are trying to put a phone call, perhaps, from OJ through to his mother. They're trying to arrange that right now.
Jane, is there an indication?
They trying to let him call his mother? Somebody in chat said earlier, if this was anybody else, they would have shot them 30 times by now, and I agree with it. Y'all gonna let him call his mother? They spent all this time trying to delicately get OJ out of the car so they could question him, because they believed he was guilty and they wanted a conviction. And all that work and all them tax dollars just for OJ to win the case. Boots on the ground
We
here.
love the juice. Save the
Oh
juice.
my
A
God.
lot of these people came by on motorcycles. They followed the police motorcade that followed Simpson to this residence, and they parked their motorcycles, some cars, and they're gathering here trying to show their support for Simpson as a standoff is taking place just about 500 yards in front of them right now. All of them very enthusiastic, hopeful that O.J. Simpson will emerge from the car safe and be taken into custody safely. That's what they're saying right now.
Oh my
It's
God.
reminiscent.
These motherfuckers were out here talking about some juice. Really? Did y'all hear the case details?
There's too much problems in Los Angeles. We want to see OJ freed. Laura, I see people actually climbing up the hillside. It looks like into people's yards to try to circumvent.
This has now become a study on the human condition, and y'all are in trouble. ChatGPT, can you write a Lana Del Rey style song about running from the police, driving through the city lights? Heart in a vice, red and blue flashing lights. I gotta get away tonight. I know it's wrong. I know I'll pay, but I can't let them catch me today. I'll do whatever it takes to survive. I won't let them take away my life. It was pandemonium, okay? I'm always looking for an opportunity to use that word. Pandemonium. And look, that's just the car chase. There was the car chase. There was the actual details of the investigation, the crime scene, the court case itself, and then don't forget OJ's entire history after the case. I don't know what that man was doing. All I know is this all escalated very quickly.